Hi everyone, it's Jeff here from Avada. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at how to use the Avada menu element. By the end of this video you'll understand how to assign and design beautiful menus using the Avada menu element. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all new Avada videos. Alright, let's jump in. Menus are created in WordPress at Appearance, Menus, and can then be displayed using the Avada menu element. The element can be used to add a menu anywhere in your content, and when creating custom headers using Avada layouts, it's an integral component. I'm on the Avada Electrician Prebuilt here, and in the first video in this Working with Menus playlist, How to Create WordPress Menus in Avada, I created a new menu from scratch and assigned it to the global header. For this video, to fully demonstrate the menu element, I'm going to delete that instance and add it again. This element has 5 tabs: General, Main, Submenu, Mobile, and an Extras tab. So while it can be relatively simple to deploy, there are also a huge number of choices. To that end, this will be a long video, so follow the chapters for the various tabs. It all starts on the General tab with the Menu option, where you assign the menu you want to display. All existing menus appear in the drop-down. I'll choose the new main menu I built in the previous video. It's hard to see as it's not styled to suit our dark colors, so let's just quickly go to the Main tab, scroll down to the bottom, and set the main menu item text color here to color 1, which is white. Yeah, now we can see it. We'll style the rest of this later, so let's head back to the General tab. Beneath the Menu option there's a link to directly edit the menu itself, but mine is good to go. Next up is Element Visibility. This can be useful in a custom header if you want separate desktop and mobile menus, though you could also use conditional rendering for that. I'm doing an all-in-one menu, so I'll leave visibility on for all screen sizes. And if the parent container has position sticky set to yes, you'll also see an option to control whether visibility applies to the normal state, the sticky state, or both. Direction is next, and this of course allows you to choose whether the menu will be horizontal or vertical. Vertical menus are useful on a page with side navigation, in a sticky column, an off-canvas sliding bar, or perhaps even in a footer, but I'll leave this one horizontal. You can set a margin above and below the element in the next option, but I don't need one here. Below this is transition time. This is the time in milliseconds it takes for any submenu expansion and any other hover transitions to take effect. I think 300 milliseconds is about right. Space between main menu and submenu is an option that allows you to place as much space as you want between the main menu and any submenus. I'm going to leave this empty for my example, but this can be used quite creatively and also in conjunction with the next few options. So in fact, I'll just quickly add 40 pixels in here and we can then see the effect straight away in the builder. And now let's look at the next option, Menu Arrows. Here you can choose to have arrows on the main menu when it's active, and the submenu. You can choose any number of these options. These are not the drop-down carrots that show a submenu is present, but rather an arrow highlight style, as seen here on the Avada construction website. I'll just come back and turn on submenu arrows, and when I do this, another option appears for their width and height. If I just make them 20 pixels in both directions, now when we mouse over the menu, we can see the arrows at the top of the submenu. As mentioned, you could use these options in many ways, but for my example, I'm going to remove the space and turn the arrows off. Following this is the ARIA label attribute option. It lets you assign an accessible label to your menu, which is particularly useful when you have more than one menu on a page, as it helps screen readers identify each one clearly. The last of the options on the General tab are the CSS class and CSS ID fields, with which you can further customize the element with CSS. But we won't need those, so let's move to the next tab, the Main Menu tab. So here we customize the main menu. The first option is minimum height. Below this, if the parent container was set to sticky, you would also find a sticky minimum height option. With the minimum height option, we can set a minimum height for the menu element itself. This will affect the height of the menu, obviously, but it will also affect background colors. For my example, it's not necessary to set this, as the next option, Align Items, is set to stretch, and this means the menu will fill the column it's in. With this option, you can align your menu items to the top, middle, or bottom of the column using the Flex Start, Center, or Flex End options, or you can set it to stretch as is done here. The next option here is justification, which aligns the menu element horizontally within the column. You can choose from flex start, center, flex end, space between, space around, or space evenly. For my example, I want my menu to be aligned to the right, so I will choose flex end. Following this are the main menu typography options. You can specify the main menu font family, the font size, the line height and the letter spacing, as well as the text transform option for the font. I've made a menu typography set for this example, so I'm just going to apply that set to the main menu typography options as a whole by clicking the globe icon at the top of the option set here and choosing menu. As you can see, that sets the font as Work Sans, the font size at 14 pixels, and the text transform option to uppercase. Then comes the main menu item padding option. This can be useful if applying borders or hover effects, as it affects each menu item, whereas the option below this, the main menu item spacing, affects the space between the items. For this example, I'm going to set 40 pixels main menu item padding top and bottom, and 20 pixels left and right. In the next option, menu item spacing, I'm going to space the main menu items out by 20 pixels. Okay, that's starting to look better. Then comes the main menu item border radius. You could use this if you had a menu background color. If I just quickly add one, let's say color 6, and then come back to the border radius option and add 10 pixels top left and bottom right, we can see the effect on our menu. There are a lot of ways to use this depending on your menu design, but for this example I will delete these values. Following the border radius option is an option called Main Menu Hover Transition. There are 8 to choose from. As you can see in the description, here you select the animation type when hovering over the main menu items, which is applied to the background color and borders. For my example, I want the center horizontal transition, which we will see in action when I add a background color. If you have any icons in your main menu items which you set in the actual menu via the Avada menu options, then here you can choose their position. I don't have any icons presently, so I will leave this as is. In the next option, you can choose the menu icon size, so I'll skip over this one as well. The last options on this tab relate to the color of the menu background and text, and the color and size of any borders and icons. You can change the main menu item background color, the main menu item text color, you can add a border to any side of the main menu items and set its color, and you can set the main menu item's icon color. For all these options, you can set both a normal color and a hover color. As you can imagine, using a variety of background and border options will allow you to create several different menu styles. Experiment with these options to see what they look like. I've already changed the main menu item text color to color 1, and I'm happy with the transparent background and border colors for my example. But let's also change the main menu item icon color to color 1 in case we add icons later. Now let's go through the hover/active states. Here I'll change the main menu item hover active background color to color 8 and change the main menu item hover active text color to color 4, as well as the main menu item hover active icon color. So now, as you see, when I hover over the menu items, I get a dark background color and the text changes color as well. Okay, so now we head to the Submenu tab. You can skip this, of course, if your menu doesn't have any submenus. The first option is drop-down carrots. I'm going to leave this on yes, so it's easy to see which menu items have submenus. For the next option, Submenu Mode, you can choose from a normal drop-down or a flyout menu. If you choose flyout, you will also get a flyout direction option, but here I will stick with a normal drop-down. As for a flyout, you can still use this, but a more flexible method is to use an off-canvas instead. See the How to Make a Flyout menu with the Off-Canvas Builder video for more information on that. Okay, with drop-down selected, the next option is Expand method. I'm going to leave it on hover. The next option is Submenu Expand Direction, and I want these submenus to expand to the right. You can also choose a Submenu Expand Transition. Fade is the default value, and I think I will stick with that. You can set a submenu maximum width with the next option, but in this case I don't need to change anything here. Okay, then comes the submenu typography option set. Again, there is font family, font size, and text transform. So this allows you to independently control main and submenu typography. I'm going to apply the menu global typography set to this again, but then I'm going to click on the font family to disconnect that option from the set. And now I get a choice of variant, which is what I wanted to change. So with the submenus, I will stick with the normal variant instead of the semi-bold one that was part of the set. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, the next option is Submenu Item Text Align. It's set to space between here, which I think looks good, but you can also choose Flex Start, Center, or Flex End. Then there is Submenu Item Padding. You can control the padding all the way around these submenu items with this option, but I think this looks good already, so I will leave this option as is. Submenu Border Radius affects the whole submenu, and in this case, I might just add 5 pixels to the bottom left and bottom right values. Box Shadow is the next option, and if you select this, you get a further 5 options with which to control it. I'll skip this for this menu here, but check out the linked how to use the container element and how to use the audio element videos for examples of how box shadows work. Submenu Thumbnail Size is the next option, and you only need this if you have a thumbnail set on a submenu item through the Avada menu options. We'll look at those in the next video in the series. The next option, Legacy Mega Menu Title Justification, is for when you're using a legacy mega menu, but we recommend using the newer method. See the How to Use the Avada Mega Menus builder for more information on that. Okay, the last 3 options here again control the colors of the submenu. I think I will set the separator color to color 2 and add some transparency to the alpha channel to tone it down, maybe -80. And for the background and text colors, I'm going to flip these around and set the submenu background color to color 8 and the submenu text color to color 1. And on the hover state, I'm going to set them to color 4 and color 1 respectively. Let's just check that. Yeah, that's how I want it. Okay, so that's the submenu tab. Let's move on now to customize this menu for mobile with the mobile tab. The first option is collapse to mobile breakpoint. Here you can choose to not have it collapse at all, have it collapse on small screen sizes, medium screen sizes, large screen sizes, or at a custom pixel value. There are a lot of options here for a lot of scenarios, but for this example, I'm going to choose custom. This displays a new option called collapse to mobile breakpoint, and here I'm going to set it to 950 pixels. So what this means is that the menu will break to the mobile layout menu on any screen that is the size I have set or smaller. If I go to the medium screen view here from the toolbar, we can see it's still a normal menu, but on any tablet that was smaller than 950 pixels, it would also collapse. If we go to the small screen size responsive mode, we can see indeed the menu now loads as a mobile menu, but it needs some styling. I'll just go through the rest of this tab and get it looking how I want. The next option is mobile menu mode. Here you can choose whether the mobile menu is collapsed or expanded on load, and here I will leave it on collapsed. The mobile menu expand mode is next. You can choose from full width static, within column normal, or within column static. Full width opens the submenus in the full screen width, whereas within column opens them within the column width the menu element is in. Mobile menu opening mode is next, and this controls how the submenu should open. Toggle allows several items to be open at a time, while accordion only allows one item to be open at a time. After this is mobile menu trigger padding, which you can use to set the padding around your mobile menu's expand and collapse icon. For my example, I'm going to leave this one as is. Then we have the mobile menu trigger background color. I'm going to change this to transparent, and the one beneath it, the mobile menu trigger text color, I will change to color 1. This also changes the color of the trigger icon. Mobile menu trigger text allows us to add some text next to the menu icon if we wish. For example, I could type menu in here, but I'll leave that empty for this example and move on to the icons. With the menu element, you can choose both the trigger expand icon and the collapse icon. For these, I'm going to go to the Electrician custom font set and set the hamburger and the collapse icon from here. Mobile menu trigger font size is the next option, and I might make this bigger to 40 pixels. Now we come to the mobile menu trigger horizontal alignment. You can choose from flex start, center, flex end, or space between here. And for my example, I want flex end, which pushes it over to the end of the column. Another option below this allows you to set the mobile menu trigger button full width. That's a very niche option that works in conjunction with the mobile menu expand mode within column static, so I'll leave that off. The mobile menu trigger bottom margin allows us to set a bottom margin to our mobile menu, which if I preview, I can see it needs it here. And so for this option, I will set that to 25 pixels. This pushes the submenus down a little, which looks better here. A few new options that were added in Avada 7.15.4 come next. There are options to use search as icon on mobile, use cart as icon on mobile, and use off-canvas trigger as icon on mobile. As the description for the off-canvas option explains, turn this on to render an off-canvas trigger special menu item as a standalone icon next to the mobile menu trigger, instead of folding it into the mobile menu. The icon is taken from the menu item's icon select option, and the linked off-canvas is the one selected on that menu item. These options are really useful for e-commerce sites or any site with prominent search or off-canvas triggers in the menu, and it keeps everything within one element. For more information on these, check out the Displaying Special Menu Item Icons on a Mobile Menu video linked below. Then there is an option for the mobile menu item minimum height. It's set to 65 pixels by default, and that looks pretty good to me. There is a mobile menu text align option next, which I will leave on left, a mobile menu indent submenus option, which I will leave on, and then comes the mobile menu typography options. Once again, I will set this to the menu typography set and disconnect the font family so the variant goes back to normal. And finally, we come to the styling section. In this case, I'm going to set them up just like the submenus. So in the next option, the mobile menu separator color, I'm going to make this color 2 and set -80 in the alpha channel. Then I will change the mobile menu background color to color 8 and the text color to color 1. And on the active state options, I'll set the background color to color 4 and the text option to color 1. Okay, nearly done. Let's look at the final tab, the Extras tab. Here we can find conditional rendering and animation type options. Animations are set to none by default, but here if we want, we can apply an animation to the loading of the element. Including none, there are 13 options to choose from, and if you do choose one, you can then control the direction, speed, and offset of that animation. For this, I'm going to leave it on none. Check out the video on element animations for more information on this option. Alright, I think we're done. Let's just save this and look at the menu in context on the front end. And here's our final menu. As I mouse over an item in the menu, we can see the background color kick in, and as I mouse across the other items, we can see the center horizontal transition in action. If I move to the Services menu item, our submenu appears, and we can see how that has different styling. And if I use the responsive option to change back to the small screen view, we can see our mobile menu at work here and how it has the same styling as the desktop submenu. Okay, hopefully you now have a good idea of how you can use the menu element both to assign and design your menus. In the next video in this series, we will look at the Avada menu options back in the menu itself and transform the menu even further. And that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Avada tutorials and deep dives. And if you have any questions or need help, feel free to create a support ticket. Our team is always ready to help. As always, thank you for choosing Avada.